do you do?
Hi.
Have a seat, and
Okay.
let's put that around your leg here.
I don't know if this is on.
Yes, it is. It goes to a recording rather than recording rather than to the audience. We have an hour for our interview, and let me suggest to you that you let me hear as fully as you can tell me whatever you find yourself experiencing throughout the interview, except insofar as I'm interrupting you.
Okay. Well, right now what I'm experiencing is a slight state of panic. I feel I'm nervous, my heart is beating, my hands are a little clammy, and my voice is a little hoarse.
Your heart is beating. That's
faster than usual.
Well, but your heart is beating, you say. That's
yes.
some evidence that you're alive.
Right.
Had you any doubt of that? Do you find yourself doubting that, I wonder?
No, I don't doubt that.
You don't doubt that?
No. And otherwise, I feel better than I expected to. I mean, I thought I would really get very nervous about doing this, but I feel like...
Relief? That's some relief?
To some extent, yeah.
And disappointing? It's a disappointment also?
No, I couldn't say that yet. I don't know. I'd have to say at the end rather than now.
I'm just asking so far. You're not disappointed so far that you're something less than, what, totally panicked?
Oh, no. I feel at this point of my life, as a person and as an actress, I should be able to deal with being in a public circumstance.
You suddenly bring in your whole life, you're being a person, and you're being an actress. Yes. I'm supposed to take to the hills, or what is my cue on that one?
I don't know.
Or is the entire audience supposed to leave the room?
No, I'm saying that I feel like that I'm not as panicked as I expected to be because, I don't know, because I've been alive for so many years and I'm an actress.
I noticed that I suddenly had a fantasy of smashing you across the side of the head. Has that ever happened to you? With my fist, specifically.
I think it's happened to me with a hand, but not with a fist.
With a hand?
Yeah.
The hand did not belong to anyone, evidently.
Well, you mean when, at the time that it happened to me?
Well, you speak of it as a disembodied hand or fist.
You said that was your fantasy, right?
I think I said, and I will ask...
You said, has that ever happened to me?
We'll take a poll here in a moment. I think I said...
It wasn't my fantasy.
That I had a fantasy of hitting you with my fist, specifically. And I asked you if that had ever happened to you.
I said it had not happened to me with a fist, but it had happened to me with a hand.
With a fist and with a hand. Now, those words are said as though it had been a disembodied fist or hand, not attached to a full person. It was. It was attached to the person who did it to me. That was the exciting part of it.
It wasn't exciting or not exciting. You didn't ask me that. You asked me if it ever happened to me.
Your tone implies that
How can you judge what my tone implies?
You what?
How can you judge that that's what my tone implies when I'm here slightly nervous? It could be from that fact.
Well, I think I chided my wife once for not being ethical. And she said, women don't need ethics. And I suppose similarly, psychotherapists can't be too concerned about ethics either. But that seemed to you unfair? Am I referring to your tone? That was unfair of me, was it?
It was, I think you jumped to a conclusion that wasn't necessarily so.
Count you out of it, in other words, huh?
I'm not sure that I'm following
you. You don't like watching me jump to conclusions that you have no part in?
No, you're saying so many things, and I can't answer that. I don't know.
Let's return to hearing you say, as fully as you can, what you find yourself experiencing in any fashion.
Right now, at this moment?
You wonder if I mean now?
I'm experiencing anger towards you.
What else might I have meant other than at this moment?
That's a good, that question is okay. I'll accept that question.
Hostility at me? me at that moment or this moment or both?
At this moment, I feel a little hostile towards you, yes, to say the least.
A little.
I can tell you what else I'm feeling, that you don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay.
That's a relief. You find that a relief, huh?
That you don't know what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. You can sit in the back seat and not take part in this, right?
No, I want to take part in it. That's why I'm here.
You're still hoping to, huh?
Well, I don't know. I'm winging, you know, I'm never mind.
Well, you go ahead. Let's hear.
No, I was going to say, I'm winging it with you, right? I'm not...
Winging it with me.
Yes,
We're
I'm
doing
not...
this together? Hmm?
Well, so to speak, yes.
Does this sound to you like a marital argument so far, most of the time?
Yes, slightly.
You do that laugh for the Dracula pictures or Daughter of Dracula?
If I can get one, yes. when I can get one.
You'll have no trouble from now on.
I like that laugh. It's
You want me to light
evil.
your chewing gum? I thought you were getting
I'm not chewing gum. I'm
cigarette.
sucking sucrettes.
Oh.
Would you like one?
Well, at least you're a nice girl. All you suck are sucrettes.
That's not all I suck.
You just wandered in off the street, right? You don't. I remember now. You're the one whose name I'm not supposed to know, right?
Right. Right.
You're afraid you might learn your name if I learned it?
Oh, what's in a name? I mean, no, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, I wonder, why am I supposed not to know even your first name? You're afraid you might get to know it, or what?
At this point, I feel like telling you what it is. I don't care right now. The other day, I had a fantasy, a bad fantasy about telling my name in this situation. Now I don't care. I would tell it to you.
Well, you feel like telling me before you forget it, right?
Are you speaking of my identity or my name? My name isn't necessarily my identity.
Your identity.
I don't know why I'm fiddling with this thing right now. You're very different than I expected you to be. I'm experiencing you very differently than I thought.
Well, your identity is different from your name, right? Your identity is your body, your physical self. Is that it? Your name. You were wanting to hang me with that thing, I gather. You looked as though you wanted to hang me with that loop.
Well, either you or me.
String me up.
One or the other. No, I don't know.
Either you, either I or you. Either me or you. And your thought was of doing that. There's no fear that the...
I wasn't consciously thinking that, but the action might have conveyed that to you. I did it out of nervousness, but I wasn't thinking of strangling you when I was doing it.
Notice I look kind of deflated or something?
Yes. Why?
Let's get back to your trying to tell me what you're experiencing.
Right now?
You wonder if I mean right then, or...
I don't know what I'm experiencing right now. I'm finding you interesting.
Well, you're about as close to me as you get to most people.
No, that's not true.
If we could just clamber over and under these microphones to one another,
Yes.
You aren't sure you'd like that?
I don't know. What do you mean?
You're aware of the microphones?
Yes.
You wonder what I mean by clamber?
Yes.
They don't seem to be obstacles between us? You're not at all sure you want to get any closer to me, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think there are any more obstacles than just then an obstacle would be just in I don't know, in a one-to-one experience between, myself and another person.
One-to-one experience?
Yeah, I mean like a private experience.
You've read about stuff like that?
No.
You've never read about one-to-one experiences? You've heard of that kind of experience?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, you've heard of a one-to-one experience.
Well, that's my own phrase. I don't really know that I've ever heard it anywhere or read it anywhere.
That's your own phrase.
Yeah, I always use that. No, why are you doing that? Do you like the cigar?
I suppose it's like I can't fathom you. I don't fathom you. I remember now, you're the one who doesn't have any name, right?
I do have a name.
You do?
I didn't know that I wanted it known at the particular time that I had agreed to doing this.
You cherish your name. I gather you cherish it.
I cherish it?
Cherish it.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
The word cherish. You never heard that word, right?
Yes, but I'm not sure how you mean it when you say it. You mean that it's, in other words, you're saying that it's just my very private thing and I don't want to share it with anybody. Is that what you mean?
You wonder if that's what I mean. You wonder if that's what I mean. Why didn't I say that?
I'm not sure what you mean. That's why I'm asking you.
I'm starting to get to know you a little. You're somebody who makes a person feel that you have no problems at all with closeness. And if we keep looking at one another through a fence or something, it's all my fault. Is that something of who you are?
No, I feel I do put walls between myself and people. I do have a hard time, really opening up with people. Getting out from behind the wall, so to speak. I mean, I know that I do create barriers between me and people.
Afraid you'll be killed or injured, physically injured?
I'm afraid I'll be hurt, not necessarily physically. That I'll be vulnerable that way. And if I'm vulnerable, then I can be hurt. I can be wounded.
Being hurt physically is sexual.
Not necessarily.
Isn't it?
No.
You make it seem sexual or sound sexual.
Maybe that's your projection.
That's always a possibility. One of us is going to be hung as a result of this interview, and it depends on... It depends. It's a Roman arena. That's what it is, isn't it? Huh? Right?
I mean,
that's what it is?
2 lions out in the jungle. Yeah, I have that image about things. I like that, though. That's a dramatic image.
2 lions out in the jungle.
Yes, like, it was once an image I used in an acting part.
And the trouble is, we're both male lions.
Not necessarily.
You're more versatile than that, huh? I feel more hidden behind this damn thing than you seem to me to be.
It is right in front of you. See, I can move. You could move away like this. Unless we can't be heard, I don't know.
You still do remember your name, right?
Yes.
You do. I keep getting the impression you guard that like a penis with which you masturbate when people will leave you alone enough to do so.
No, I just felt because I am an actress that I didn't want my name known.
You want to be the least publicized actress on the great...
No, I don't know that I necessarily want to be publicized in this way.
That makes sense. Did you talk to the other 2 people who were interviewed here?
No.
I see.
I didn't speak to anybody.
As Because I'm unaware that they made such a thing about name, see? Now, is this about name been a concern of yours at other times, I wonder?
No.
It hasn't?
No. Mm-mm.
I was thinking, what's a nice, simple lion like you doing in psychotherapy? You're all out of a jungle, that's it. You're fresh out of a jungle, huh?
I don't know.
When was the last time you were hit?
That I was hit?
Hit or strangled?
I was never strangled completely.
You do?
I said I was never strangled completely.
I thought you said, I wish I was strangled.
No,
completely.
I said I was never strangled completely, or else I wouldn't be here.
You're still hoping. Huh? You wouldn't be here if you had been?
No.
Again, you're quite sure you're
Unless
alive?
you believe in reincarnation and things like that.
You're quite sure you're alive, huh?
You know, that sounds to me like that question, if I may say so. That sounds to me like a lot of books that I've read on schizophrenia where they say that they never quite know if they're really here or not. Or this one book that I read by Lang, R.D. Lang.
You wondered if you may say so. I have no way of stopping you.
Oh, right, I just said it.
Short of strangling you, right? You said, unless I believe in reincarnation. Hmm?
I just threw that out.
In hopes I'd go running out. In hopes I'd go running out after it, huh?
After what?
After it. That you said you just threw it out. You sound as though you just threw it out a door, hoping I'd run after it.
Now I have nothing to say because anything I'm saying is going to be, I don't know.
What?
No, I don't know. What?
Well, that's one reason not to get very close to anyone or very close to me, huh?
One reason, what's what?
Do you become confused? Is that it? Or are you afraid you will become confused?
No.
You're not afraid of being confused?
No, I am confused most of the time anyways. No, I'm not afraid of being confused if I get close to someone. Mostly if I'm afraid of being hurt by someone.
I wish you'd go away. I'd like to just sit here and read.
Maybe you don't want to be here.
No, to sit here and read would be all right. I had some impression that you aspire to one-person plays. Is that your forte? Hmm?
To one-person plays?
Yes, you are an actress. You keep telling me, right?
Yeah.
One person is your specialty? One-person plays?
No.
You've never heard of one-person plays?
At rare times I have one-person plays. Any actor would love that, to just be on stage by themselves.
They would?
Sure. It's a total ego trip. Just have you looked at nobody else. But that's not necessarily what I aspire to. I like to act with other people and relate to them on stage.
Sound as though you're reciting something. Your heart isn't in that as much, huh?
As much as what? As the
one-person stuff.
I don't know. My father smokes cigars.
He does? You like that? You like seeing him kill himself like that?
No, I hate cigars.
You're patient, huh? You're just waiting. You hate cigars?
I mean, I don't hate them. That's too violent. I just, they're very smoky and everything.
Too violent, huh?
Too violent.
You're just not the violent type, hmm?
I like to think of myself as being passive, but I don't know if I am.
Again, I then had some urge to get up, grab you by the hair, smash your head into the wall. There's some feeling of, let's get through this sort of, to use a psychoanalytic expression for a moment, shit. Let's get through this kind of shit.
Do you have those
barbed
feelings
wire
with
fence.
all
It's
your
like there's a
patients?
barbed wire fence. You wonder if I have that feeling with all of them.
Yes. I mean, do you dislike your patients because they have so
wonder.
much shit going on?
Oh, you wonder if I do.
I mean, isn't it really, though, difficult, if it takes so many years in analysis to get through so much shit, isn't it difficult in a 60-minute period to try to do that?
16-minute. You sound as though you
60.
said 16 minutes.
I said 60. 60-minute.
Is it difficult in a 60-minute period to do what?
To try to get through some bullshit to some kind of, to use your words, try to get through some shit to some kind of reality or whatever you want to call it.
Something like trying to get through all the other patients and all that, huh?
No, I don't see where you got that.
You talk as though the longer experience one has had, the more problem it might be to get through all that experience.
No, I'm saying with if it takes so many years in analysis.
If it does.
You know, or it does take a long time in analysis to get through so much shit that the patient is into, then how in a 60-minute period of time, how much can you accomplish getting through to that?
Well,
to me.
You talk as though you don't know, but you're interested to watch me try.
No, maybe I was saying that.
You sure whether you'd rather be in plays or sit and watch them?
No, I like being in them.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right, now let's see now if for the first time you can tell me what you find yourself experiencing.
I feel now, at this moment, like I'm more here than I was before. I mean, that I can see you, I can really see you better. I can see the room. Like, I'm not so foggy. My head isn't so foggy. That something is cleared away slightly.
Well, I had one thought. In a way, I'm sorry to hear that. I have a fantasy of your being kind of congealed in the chair. We're going to have to chisel you away at the end of the interview.
Me and you, both of us?
Maybe so. I hadn't thought of that. Can Mother be counted on to do the chiseling, or what?
She's already done it.
Has she?
I don't know.
She's already done it. You and Father are both rootless, are you now, or what?
Are both what?
Rootless. Been chiseled away from where you belong or something? Why don't you be honest just for a moment? Let's hear what you find yourself thinking.
Right now?
You keep wondering if I do mean now.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep asking
now or in the next incarnation? The last one?
No, I mean like now or the moment before. I mean, when you asked me, a moment has already passed. So I'm not sure which moment to refer to.
Well, but you like to watch me try to grapple with something like that, huh?
I don't really know. Well, right now I feel bad.
You do?
Yeah.
I've helped you to feel bad?
Perhaps.
You should feel bad. You're feeling the way you should be feeling.
Who says I should feel bad?
I say you should feel bad for trying to play a trick like that on me. When I ask you how you're feeling, and you say, do you mean right now? And I say yes, and you tell me, well, the moment has passed. Huh? Why shouldn't you feel bad?
I don't think that's why I feel bad, though.
Let's hear. Let's see what occurs to you. I say that carefully so it won't sound like a curse to you. I don't mean a curse to you, but let's hear what occurs to you.
Occurs. You play with words a lot, don't you? No.
You've been feeling neglected. I never take you anyplace. Huh?
That's just what I say to my husband.
That's just what you say to your husband?
Yes.
No, I'm kind of surprised to hear that.
He never
You're only 16 and married already.
I'm not 16. But you want to know why I feel bad, right?
No, I don't assume you know why you feel bad. I suggest let's hear what occurs to you. You say that that's not the only reason you feel bad. You look frightened, huh?
I look frightened? Gee.
You looked frightened just then, yeah. You looked at me in fright, but as though afraid I would go to pieces or something, afraid I would dissolve or fall to pieces.
No, maybe I was scared about something that I would say about myself or something. I don't know.
Afraid you'd betray yourself, or you can't count on yourself, or something? I thought of a rabbit for some reason. I thought of a rabbit. Let's hear what a rabbit brings to your mind. I had a notion you were scared by a rabbit.
Scared by a rabbit?
Uh-huh. If you don't like my fantasies, I'll be glad to hear yours.
No, I find your fantasies interesting. I don't know.
You do?
That's the second time I said that.
I like to torment them with a kind of a pointed stick or something.
Rabbits?
No, my fantasies.
Oh.
Rabbits, you could get interested in that, huh?
I like rabbits. I love them.
Was that what you and your husband like to do evenings best? Torment rabbits with pointed sticks? Huh?
That's a strange question.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't.
You took...
The nice thing about all this, you know, is that we can't possibly hurt one another. Isn't that nice?
That's true. It's a very protected...
That's right. We never make contact with one another, so we can't really hurt one another.
Right.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Is that the way your marriage goes?
Sometimes.
Sundays or...
When we're home together, right?
Is it? You keep trying to reach across the
Yes.
force field or whatever it is? You do? Have you ever drawn blood so far?
Sometimes. No, why are you doing that now?
Sometimes. I was suddenly tired.
It's the cigars. They take a lot of energy from you.
You're not enervating me, huh? You never heard that word, have you?
Yes, I did. Enervating means the opposite. I remember it from the Owl and the Pussycat. Enervating, she says...
No, you traveled, huh? No, again, you're being patient, right? I'll die of old age in course of time, just get enervated, huh?
Enervated doesn't mean to get excited. It means the opposite.
Yeah. I suddenly feel enervated. Your mind's a blank, right?
I'm watching you. Yeah, it is blank. That's true.
Okay. Your mother leaves you and your father alone too much. Is that the idea?
No, she never did.
She didn't? She was very careful not to, huh? Is that right?
Actually, it would have been the other way around. He would have left us alone.
It would have been.
I mean, it was.
It would have been, you said.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
It would have been if it had really happened, or if he and she had really been inhabiting your incarnations or something like that.
I don't know.
So it's the cigar. If I suddenly look very fatigued, it's a cigar.
I just said that because smoking drains your energy.
It does. It
Yes.
makes me no good sexually, huh?
That and other things. No, smoking is very, very bad for you. Very unhealthy.
You've made that comment to your father?
No.
You haven't? Doesn't seem to drain his energy?
I don't know. I don't see my parents that much, so I don't have occasion to say that to. I feel like we're boring the people now.
You like that, huh?
No, I feel like I'm not being entertaining.
You don't like to think of them sweating out there and wishing to God they were someplace else?
No.
You know? You feel you're not being entertaining, huh? Or that we're not being, you said?
We're not being.
Been a long time since they laughed. Hmm?
I don't know what all of this is showing anyway. I mean, this is very, you know, this is different, you know, than like having a session with, you know, your own doctor or something.
It is?
Yeah.
I had a thought that we got rather near, I was going to say menstruation. And that's when I got very tired.
Thinking about menstruation?
I had some thought about menstruation. I asked if you'd drawn any blood lately, or if you ever had. That's when I thought of menstruation, and I got feeling very tired.
Why would that tire you?
It doesn't tire you. Hmm? You don't find it tires you.
What, menstruating? No, I like it.
You do?
Yeah.
You manage to
it's
all the time?
It's a cleansing of the body. I like that.
Oh, it is? That's
yes.
the way your mother puts it?
No, that's the way I put it.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
You read that somewhere?
No, never.
A cleansing of the body.
Yes.
Well, it's like a good, to use that psychoanalytic expression again, shit. Hmm?
Right.
Is it? Really? Your husband envy you, this experience? Hmm?
I don't know. I never discussed it with him.
You can't tell from the way he reacts, huh?
I don't think he does.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
You make it sound pleasant, pleasurable, cleansing. Hmm? You spoke of feeling bad. You spoke of feeling that bad, didn't you?
Yes, before I did.
As though you needed a good menstruation, something like that?
No, I didn't think of it that way. No.
I defy you now to contribute something to this interview.
I find it very difficult.
You do?
I find your mind. I find your mind very strange.
You do. Well, it's clear my days are numbered, huh? Is that the way it is at home? Is it like an arena where the crowd decides who shall be put to death? Hmm? I mean, I was thinking of a parental home when I say home.
I don't know. I mean...
You pretend to be puzzled better than anybody I know. You know?
I'm not pretending. I'm not sure
really.
what you're asking me all the time. Or what you're saying.
Well, I can't tell for sure, though, unless I draw blood. I thought of cutting you to be sure that it's real. Hmm?
To what?
To be sure it's real. I wouldn't know that if you were pretending or not. Unless I cut you. And if I could see the blood, then I'd know there was something real there.
Would you feel, is that how you feel? I mean, you're saying that you would have to draw blood?
Is that how I feel, or is that how you feel? Huh?
Well, that's not how I feel.
You don't have any urge to draw blood to see if the other person, as they say, is real? Hmm?
Even if I would find out if the other person is real or not would be by drawing blood.
By cutting them, yes, cutting them. Hmm?
I don't have any desire to do that.
You don't have any of
no.
that? You don't want any of those desires? Huh?
If you mean that symbolically getting near to somebody, you know, then I could accept that.
How are you with knives in your life as a happy married woman? Do you like butcher knives and all that kind of stuff? Hmm?
I think knives are interesting.
You do?
Yeah.
You have quite a collection, or what?
No, not at all.
You don't?
No.
You don't have any, huh?
I've had fights where I picked them up.
You have?
Yeah. And
Fortunately, you were alone at the time?
no, not at all.
You weren't? Huh? Did you notice who else was there?
Yeah.
There was a hand or a fist, or, huh?
No, I mean, when I was fighting with a particular person, I picked up a knife.
You can't remember the name, of course, huh?
No, I can. I was with my husband.
And you do remember his name?
Yeah.
You do? Hmm? How'd you feel about changing your last name? Did you consent to?
Oh, I felt, I still am not used to using his name. I Because in acting I use my own name. So I'm still using my own name a great deal. I haven't completely, I don't always use his name.
You're not ready yet for the next incarnation? You brought in this about reincarnation. I didn't say anything about that.
Do you know anything about reincarnation?
You wonder if I do.
Yeah.
Let's have an incarnation together, huh?
No, I only asked you that.
You make it sound like fun.
Like what?
You make it sound like fun. Let me throw a cheap, standard kind of ploy at you for a moment now. This will be the first less than totally spontaneous thing I've done so far. Suppose your mother were sitting in that chair. Have you any thought of how she would feel or think, or what she would do or say?
My mother would never be sitting in this chair.
She wouldn't?
No, my mother, do you want to know why?
You wouldn't want to burden me by something I might not want to know, huh?
You might not be interested, I don't know.
You like to have me chase you all the time, don't you? I should chase you around the room a while. You'd reassure you that I'm interested, right?
Yeah, right, I'd like that. I think you would too by your reaction.
Yeah, I would. I'd be confident I couldn't really catch you. So there's no danger of my getting seriously hurt. She'd never be in that chair.
No.
And you wondered if I want to know why. Hmm?
Well, if you're interested in knowing why.
You aren't sure you are, hmm? Interested in knowing why? Hmm? If you were me, you don't know whether you'd want to be interested in knowing why, huh?
If I were you, would say
you aren't sure that you'd be interested in knowing why, huh?
I don't know that it has any relevance to anything.
We wouldn't want to confuse the audience, or what?
No, I guess I didn't want to say certain things about my mother.
Well, I know why your mother wouldn't be sitting in that chair. Do you want to know why she wouldn't?
You want to tell me why now? Mm-hmm. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
She's afraid she'd become confused.
No.
Well, I say yes, but you go ahead.
No, she's just too, she would never put herself in a circumstance
She's
like
just you, you said.
No,
she's
I said
just you.
she's just, and then I stopped. I meant, I was going to say she's
you.
closed.
She gets confused with what they call the other person.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Now, what's your version of why she would never sit in that chair, be sitting in that chair?
Because she would be she's too closed of a person to put herself in this kind of situation. She's too isolated. I'm isolated too in my own way, but she's even more isolated. I'm isolated, but I hope, I want to come out, you know. But she never wanted to help herself to come out. She's isolated and she wants to stay there. So she wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, that's a sad thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You're isolated too, in your own way, you say. Hmm?
Yes.
And it does get in your way, does it? Hmm? Thing of the barbed wires kind of thing, and the fence and all that. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does get in my way because I don't know that I guess in one way, I mean, it's safer to, you know, to stay behind the barbed fence or the wall or whatever you want to call it. But in another way, what does that make? I mean, what does that make me as a human being? I mean, how can I grow and change?
You sure you want to? Hmm?
I do, but I'm scared. But I mean, it frightens me to come out, you know, so to speak.
You ever been in her isolation with her?
Yes, for the 16 years I lived at home, I was.
Good years, those. Hmm?
No.
No?
No.
You're not afraid of getting back into something like that?
I think I am. I think I feel that way partially about my marriage, like I'm back home again. You know, I'm back protecting myself again. You know, I found something to hide behind, so that I don't have to get out and do for myself.
I just had a thought of some bit of alarm that perhaps the time was almost up, or we were running overtime, some alarm that we might run on and on without observing any limit. Some anxiety on your part, lest your whole life go by without getting out of the isolation?
Yeah, I do. I have an anxiety about that. Because then it means that I would not accomplish anything with my life that I wanted to.
Well, I had an urge to say thank you. Thank you for confirming that. Thank you for that crumb. Now, your mother finds it a humiliating thing to accept anything from anyone.
Well, she always feels like that nobody can help her. I mean, that she can't be helped, that there's no help.
She's very determined about that. Or
Oh, yes.
very fiercely proud.
Anyway, yeah, right.
Like a lion, fierce pride.
Yeah, right.
Has she ever let her maiden name, last name, become her married name? Did she ever give up her maiden name, her last name?
Yeah.
She did?
Well, that's a very deep question.
I didn't say it wasn't.
I mean, to give up something means that you have something to begin with. I mean, that you have some association with yourself to begin with. So maybe superficially she gave up her name. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
I wasn't following it too well. To give up something means you have something to begin with, huh?
It would mean that to give up from her maiden name to her married name.
Well, you talked as though you don't think she had any childhood or any parental family or anything.
She had a very bad childhood.
She did?
Yeah.
She was beaten a great deal?
No, she was left alone a great deal. She wasn't cared for.
And you perhaps feel that that's your fault somehow?
No.
No? She seems to think it was your fault?
No, how would that be my fault?
Through reincarnation.
Means of, oh, what do you mean?
Well, in psychoanalytic terms, she may react to you as the mother who neglected her, huh? Father who neglected her. You might feel bad about the neglect in her childhood. As though you were there. I don't know. Let's hear whatever you...
You know, I mean, if I think about it, I mean, yeah, I do. I feel bad about the neglect that she had. I think in a way that she passed on certain things to me about herself.
Passed on. Was it
That
a
does sound
peaceful
funny.
death? Huh? Does sound funny, doesn't
It does sound funny.
Deathbed scenes are always amusing, huh? She passed on.
I mean, she told me things about herself that was like, you know, I don't know, was, no, I do know, was kind of giving me some of her own guilt or something, or her own...
When you said that's a very deep question, I thought, well, go ahead. Submerge. I'll tug on the line occasionally and keep in touch with me. Go ahead and explore it.
Well, I don't know, this is going to sound funny the way I'm explaining it, but she wasn't connected to herself enough to begin with to I don't know, if you think about taking on somebody else's name, right? It's taking on, in a way, a part of their background and their history.
Like I might think of taking on your name, for example.
No.
No? You weren't afraid I might, huh?
No.
If I don't know your name, huh? Then I couldn't take it on? She was an orphan. Is that the idea? No name, nameless orphan.
No, she wasn't an orphan. Well, in a way she was. I mean, the way she was left alone, in a way she was.
Well, when you say she wasn't an orphan,
Why am I talking
look
about
to
my
me,
mother?
what?
Well, I was just thinking, why am I talking about my mother? I think I'm
Face
feeling...
it, she's a much more beautiful, sexy woman than you are, huh?
No, she's not.
Your husband doesn't torment you with stuff like that?
No.
He doesn't? You never let him see her, though, do you?
Of course I do.
You do?
I wish he would see her more. I mean, that we would go over
It might
there
do
more.
something for him, huh?
No.
No? You don't think so?
I don't see that connection.
Well, does your father say nasty things to you like that? Does he say your mother's a much more sexy woman than you are, my girl, huh? Does he do stuff like that with you?
No, he might say that my mother's a more giving, unselfish person than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
He makes her sound sort of dead or like a saint or something?
Right, like a saint.
Have you ever said, Dad, I never see that somehow?
No, because I feel he's right. I mean, she is, in many ways, a very giving, wonderful person.
In many ways.
Yeah.
What are you hastily getting over there?
Well, in saying that I'm not accounting for all the ways that I feel that she screwed me up as a person.
Screwed you up, huh?
Or that they both did.
You wonder why I keep wanting to talk about her? Why I keep talking about her? Is that the way it is with you and your father? He keeps talking about your mother all the time?
Not all the time. He'll bring it up to me.
He says my mother is a such and such, you said, huh?
He'll say that...
That is your mother. It made it sound as though he's referring to his mother, huh?
He might be.
She's like a mother to him? Huh?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, you're not allowed to get into that at all, huh?
Well, if she's his mother, then what does that make me?
Well, they're up in the nickel bleachers, right? Huh? The lion? No, what does it make you?
I don't know.
That's where you start getting tired? You start looking tired.
No, I don't feel tired.
Well, give yourself time. We'll see who dies of old age here today. You waiting for somebody to die?
No.
You're not? You got that knife collection, huh? You're not just waiting? Go ahead, be my guest. Let's hear
No, I
it.
said maybe I'm waiting for part of me to die, the part that I don't like, or something.
You can just see my nasty old mind, or what?
No, I don't see your mind at all. No, I don't. I see you a little bit.
Whether there's any mind in here is the question still open, right? You and your husband fight in the evening usually.
Not usually, a lot of the time, but not usually.
Fist fights or wrestling or both?
No, sometimes we have physical fights.
Physical, that's to enhance bowel movements, or what is the physical part? Huh? Don't you want to be in this interview at all, really? You're young, you know, you look physically healthy. Why don't you get in it?
What do you want me to do? How do you want me to get in it?
My thought was to take off all your clothes and run around the room, and then I had an uncomfortable feeling, so I wanted to see you degrade yourself, you know? And that reminds me of what you said of your mother. Does she stay in her isolation as though afraid she'll be degraded if she gets outside it? You said she wouldn't sit in that chair. She'd be afraid of being degraded or something like that?
That might be part of it, yeah.
Have you ever seen her degraded, or have you ever succeeded in degrading her?
Yes, I have degraded her.
You have, and the worst
Well,
part...
so she said to me by certain things that I've done.
She said, in retrospect, that is, you know? You don't know it at the time?
No. I mean, at certain times in the past, not recently, she said that to me.
That you have degraded her?
Yes.
Does this seem to do something for her sexually when she accuses you of that? Is she implying...
Do you mean that it makes her feel more powerful or something?
Well, you wonder if that's what I mean. Let's hear what occurs to you.
Well, that's what occurs to me, that if you put somebody else down, or you're telling some, you know, you're making them lesser than you, then that makes you more powerful, right? Or if you can find, you know, attack somebody about a weakness of theirs or something, and that makes you feel more powerful.
She implies you screw
That
her.
is by her being able to say to me, you know, that I do this to her and I do that to her and blah, 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 you know, makes her in the upper position.
She's screwing you,
In a sense of a way,
Or
yeah.
screws you up. That screws you up?
That screws me up? By her putting me
Doing
down?
that?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I can't ask you if you like that, because I assume you're not aware of liking that. But
I think you, if somebody does it to you enough, you think that you get to like it. It becomes very masochistic. You get used to having that done to you, so you want it. But it's not that you really, in a healthful sense, like it.
it's simply performing one's wifely duties.
It's playing a role, in a way. I mean...
Well, this affects your feelings in intercourse. You don't like your husband to be on top of you.
I was going to say... Yeah, no, I do. I like him to be on top of me. Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't like being on top of you.
Not all the time.
You keep kicking him off, or what?
No.
You don't? He wishes you would, or what?
I don't know. You're like laughing now.
You're laughing? Is that what you're doing? Huh?
No, I very rarely ever really laugh. It's either hysteria or fear or something like that. Sometimes I laugh.
You wanted to be sure I didn't think you were having an orgasm.
I was getting excited when you mentioned having intercourse. Yes, that's true. That's why I laugh.
You wouldn't want me to think you were having an orgasm. Why not? Why not make an old man feel really happy? Well, you haven't many minutes left, right? What if you and I both get together and kill this goddamn crowd, okay?
And then what would we do?
That's the trouble, huh?
I have the cameras here. You're all twisted up in that thing.
Well, I don't seem to enjoy it, or am I suffering?
I don't know. It makes me feel like, you know, changing it around for you.
Afraid you might attack me or something?
I don't know.
You wouldn't want me to be all tied up if you did attack me, or what?
I guess not.
When I asked what if your mother were sitting in that chair, I thought of an electric chair. Does that get back to why you wouldn't want to do me in or something?
An electric chair?
You've never heard of an electric chair?
Yes, I have heard of an electric chair.
Why do you behave as though you never heard the phrase?
It's not that I was reacting to that. I was reacting to the image. I mean, how did you get to an electric chair?
I don't know. When I thought of, I suppose that it was, my impression was, actually, when I asked if your mother, what if your mother were sitting in that chair, see?
Yes.
And I thought of an electric chair, see? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I got to it, but it suggested to me that I must have been and must be at that point hating you more than I realized I was.
So you wanted to see me in an electric chair?
Sounds so, doesn't it? Yes. Not just see you in one, but I like things to be functional.
What a weird laugh.
Is it a weird one?
Yeah.
You like to hear it a few more times?
Yeah.
You'd like to add that to your repertoire? Huh?
I could use it. No.
You could use it in your new picture, Granddaughter of Dracula.
I'll make you grandfather of Dracula.
What about grandfather?
I'll make you grandfather of Dracula.
Uh-huh.
You get tired easy.
I do, huh?
You should take yoga.
One-shot guy, huh?
Yoga's good for you. One-shot guy. Yeah, that's the worst, man. That's the worst.
What's on your mind? Anything on your mind?
I felt like having to drag off your cigar. You made it look very appealing, the way you were smoking.
I thought of offering you a cigar, but then it seemed kind of nasty some way, yeah.
Too symbolic, you mean?
Guess so. I didn't think so at the moment. Yeah, it makes me feel guilty.
No.
Oh, but it does.
No.
I'm afraid of my wife.
Do you have one?
It surprises you, doesn't it? You're reciprocating my good-natured surprise at learning you're married, huh? This is what they call a mutual admiration society.
Is that what it is?
No, I would offer you a fresh cigar, but that's not right. You don't have any brothers, huh?
No, a sister. And a cat.
A female cat. From the parental family, you mean?
Oh, no, actually, no, that's the cat I have now, my own cat, a male cat.
Did your dad give you a drag on his cigar?
Yeah, if I ask him for it.
You've never asked him, though, huh?
Yeah, I have.
Have you? But he's never offered you one without your having to ask.
Yeah, he has at times. When I say that I'm giving up smoking, he'll say, "You want a cigar?"
As though that's not smoking, huh?
Well, you don't inhale a cigar. Maybe some people do. I don't know. I think most people don't inhale a cigar.
I thought it sounded for a moment there as though he gets confused, thinking you're himself. Instead of putting the cigar in his mouth, he puts it in your mouth. Hmm?
Do you think that's it?
I hope it is, but
I don't know.
No, you don't think so?
That would be very sexual, though, right? Wouldn't it be like giving me his penis or something? Or something like that.
It would be very confusing. It would get back to confusion as to who is whom. He doesn't confuse you with himself, huh?
I don't think so.
Your thought was that would be very sexy, wouldn't it? Hmm?
No, my thought was, what I was actually thinking before I answered that was, he never thinks that he and I are alike in any way, so that's maybe an irrelevant thought. But, so how would he confuse me with him? But I don't really see that relates.
You aren't sure you want to think that you and he are at all alike either?
Well, for a long time I didn't. I feel in some ways we're very much alike. That's why we didn't get along for a long time.
I had the notion there you want to say that's why we didn't get married.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say.
No, that's not why you and he didn't get married.
No.
Okay, I'll be your guest now. Why didn't you and he get married?
Because he was too possessive of my mother. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, it serves to put me off, and it's, it defangs me or something like that. Too possessive of your mother. You'd be bored with a husband who is that possessive of...
No, I mean, he and I weren't allowed to. Huh? He and I weren't allowed to have a relationship or a friendship because.
You know, because what?
Because of his possessiveness to my mother, and my mother possessing us or domineering us in some way.
One of the thoughts I just got then was that you seemed to me to be, in many, many ways, a very healthy person. I was thinking that something about not wanting to hurt you, not wanting to damage what you got going for you, that you're doing just fine as you are, and I shouldn't really touch you much at all. But is this something the way you feel toward your mother, I wonder, in her isolation?
No, I just feel that that there's so much unhealthfulness there. Well, at this point, for her to get into it would maybe not be good.
There's so much unhealthness there.
No, I don't really believe that. No, as a matter of fact, my sister and I have always told her to, like, go into therapy or get, help herself.
There's so much unhealthness there.
That was my first thought. Now
all right, when you said that, my thought was there should be enough for you, huh? There seems enough for two there.
I think she's very unhealthy psychologically.
You do?
Yeah.
So that, of course, it puzzles you what your father saw in her, huh?
No, because he's not that healthy himself.
No, I would offer you a fresh cigar, but that's not right. You don't have any brothers, huh?
No, a sister. And a cat.
A female cat. From the parental family, you mean?
Oh, no, actually, no, that's a cat I have now, my own cat, a male cat.
Did your dad give you a drag on his cigar?
Yeah, if I ask him for it.
You've never asked him, though, huh?
Yeah, I have.
Have you? But he's never offered you one without your having to ask.
Yeah, he has at times. When I say that I'm giving up smoking, he'll say, "You want a cigar?"
As though that's not smoking, huh?
Well, you don't inhale a cigar. Maybe some people do. I don't know. I think most people don't inhale a cigar.
I thought it sounded for a moment there as though he gets confused, thinking you're himself. Instead of putting the cigar in his mouth, he puts it in your mouth. Hmm?
Do you think that's it?
I hope it is, but
I don't know.
No, you don't think so?
That would be very sexual, though, right? Wouldn't it be like giving me his penis or something? Something like that.
It would be very confusing. It would get back to confusion as to who is whom. He doesn't confuse you with himself, huh?
I don't think so.
Your thought was that would be very sexy, wouldn't it? Hmm?
No, my thought was, what I was actually thinking before I answered that was, he never thinks that he and I are alike in any way, so that's maybe an irrelevant thought, but, so how would he confuse me with him? But I don't really see that relates.
You aren't sure you want to think that you and he are at all alike either?
Well, for a long time I didn't. I feel in some ways we're very much alike. That's why we didn't get along for a long time.
I had the notion there you want to say that's why we didn't get married.
No, I wasn't going to say.
No, that's not why you and he didn't get married?
No.
Okay, I'll be your guest now. Why didn't you and he get married?
Because he was too possessive of my mother. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, it serves to put me off, and it defangs me or something like that. Too possessive of your mother. You'd be bored with a husband who is that possessive of...
No, I mean, he and I weren't allowed to. He and I weren't allowed to have a relationship or a friendship because.
You know, because what?
Because of his possessiveness to my mother, and my mother possessing us or domineering us in some way.
One of the thoughts I just got then was that you seemed to me to be, in many, many ways, a very healthy person. I was thinking that something about not wanting to hurt you, not wanting to damage what you got going for you, that you're doing just fine as you are, and I shouldn't really touch you much at all. But is this something the way you feel toward your mother, I wonder? In her isolation?
No, I just feel that that there's so much unhealthfulness there. Well, at this point, for her to get into it would maybe not be good.
There's so much unhealthness there.
No, I don't really believe that. No, as a matter of fact, my sister and I have always told her to, like, go into therapy or get, help herself.
There's so much unhealthness there.
That was my first thought. Now
all right, when you said that, my thought was there should be enough for you, huh? There seems enough for two there.
I think she's very unhealthy psychologically.
You do?
Yeah.
So that, of course, it puzzles you what your father saw in her, huh?
No, because he's not that healthy himself.
They're rotting together, are they, or what?
So to speak, yes.
You simply hold your nose and watch with interest, or what?
Well, I try to just avoid it.
You try to just avoid it?
Yes.
I thought you said disavoid it.
No, I try to just avoid it.
And you sniff. What's the sniff about? You got any thought about that?
I have a little cold. Do you think the sniff was symbolic, too?
I had thought you also have syphilis. That
No.
Gets back to my reservation about offering you a drag for my cigar. I reacted something.
Well, then if
so
I have syphilis, then
syphilis.
I'm rotting, too, right? Isn't that it? I guess then the whole family's rotting.
Why did you drag your sister in on this thing?
Well, she'd have to be rotting, too, wouldn't she? Funny expression on your face. You look like a frog.
I do? A live frog or dead frog?
A live one.
It's a rather loathsome thing to have in bed.
Frogs are cute. I like frogs.
You always chill your husband nicely before you go to bed, or what?
Sometimes I do that.
You do? Do you really?
I'm not nice all the time.
You put him in a bathtub with ice cubes, do you? Huh?
Not all, sometimes. If I'm mad at him, I will. Is it getting near to the hour 60 minutes?
I've already changed my incarnation, haven't I? I'm a frog. Have you metamorphosed yet? Are you planning to? What?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure right now. I don't know. No, I think I'm the same as when I came in. I don't know. No, maybe a little different. Little different.
You'd like to have gone out with my cigar or not?
I guess it maybe just a drag off it. If that means anything.
miser I am if I don't even give you a drag off my cigar, huh? Your father ever refused when you've asked him?
For many things, yes.
Well, what about that? Is that something he never refuses?
Because sometimes he has.
But those were such hurtful times. You've managed to forget them?
No, I'm just really, what hurt me when I said that I was thinking about the other things that he would refuse me. I wasn't thinking about the cigar.
Well, he refused your mother to you. Is that the idea?
No, he also refused himself to me.
Well, one thing that strikes me now, you've left it ambiguous. He's refused himself to you.
Mm-hmm.
I've done so also, have I?
No, I don't think so.
You know, it strikes me that you've now left it ambiguous whether your mother is an isolated person or whether she's been so much the possession of your father all along.
Well, I'm not sure of it in my mind because of my fears about who I am and how much I'm like her. So in a way, I guess I have our identities confused in a certain way.
Maybe he's been so possessive of each of you, huh? Well, your husband would strangle me, or what? Is he a big guy?
No, he's little.
He is?
Yeah.
You keep him that way, huh?
No, I'd like him to be bigger.
You like it to be bigger?
Him.
I regret that we've got to stop.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now, wait a minute. You want to undo that? You know how to? Here.
Let's see.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye now.